You're on.
Hey, good morning, Bobcat Nation. It's me, Dr. Mouse. Well, I know usually Ms. Verduska reads with you on Wednesdays, but we did a little switch yesterday. We were at actually Washington trying to get all the Chrome cards ready for distribution. Shout out to our team that came out. Ms. Lopez came out, Ms. Rodas Perez came out, Ms. Lenore, Ms. Sandra, and myself, and Ms. Verduska. So it was a great team effort. We got all our Chrome cards ready to go for distribution for those Bobcats who need a device. All right, with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started today. We're going to get started with Charlotte's Web. We're on chapter 5. Okay. Sorry, a little interruption there. All right, Charlotte. So last time we talked, Wilbur was kind of sad. He was in his barn and he heard a voice, and it was Charlotte, the spider. I don't know what. All right, and so we're going to start with chapter 5. All right, here we go. Sorry, Dr. Morales is a little rusty. All right. The night seemed long. Wilbur's stomach was empty and his mind was full. And when your stomach is empty and your mind is full, it's always hard to sleep. A dozen times during the night, Wilbur woke and stared into the blackness, listening to the sounds and trying to figure out what time it was. A barn is never perfectly quiet. Even at midnight, there is usually something stirring. The first time he woke, he heard Templeton gnawing a hole in the grain bin. Templeton's teeth scrapped loudly against the wood and made quite a racket. That crazy rat, thought Wilbur. Why does he have to stay up all night, grinding his clashers and destroying people's property? Why can't he go to sleep like any decent animal? The second time Wilbur woke, he heard the goose turning on her nest and chuckling to herself. What time is it? Whispered Wilbur to the goose. Probably about 11:30, said the goose. Why aren't you asleep, Wilbur? All right, so a little math question. 11:30 would be what time? 11:30, right? Because an hour is 60 minutes, so half of that's 30. So 11:30 is 30 minutes past 11, which makes it 11:30. All right, throw a little math lesson in there. Too many things on my mind, said Wilbur. Well, said the goose, that's not my trouble. I have nothing in my mind, but I do have too many things under my behind. Have you ever tried to sleep while sitting on 8 eggs? No, replied Wilbur. I suppose it is uncomfortable. How long does it take a goose egg to hatch? Approximately 30 days all told, answered the goose. But I cheat a little bit. On warm afternoons, I just pull a little straw over the eggs and go out for a walk. Wilbur yawned and went back to sleep. In his dreams, he heard again a voice saying, I'll be your friend to you. Go to sleep. You'll see me in the morning. About half an hour before dawn, Wilbur woke and listened. The barn was still dark. The sheep lay motionless. Even the goose was quiet. Overhead on the main floor, nothing stirred. The cows were resting, the horses dozed. Templeton had quit work and gone off somewhere for an errand. The only sound was a slight scraping noise from the rooftop, where the weather vane swung back and forth. Wilbur loved the barn when it was like this, calm and quiet, waiting for light. Day is almost here, he thought. Through a small window, a faint gleam appeared. One by one, the stars went out. Wilbur could see the goose a few feet away. She sat with the head tucked under her wing. Then he could see the sheep and the lambs. The sky lightened. Oh, beautiful day! It is here at last. Today I shall find my friend. Wilbur looked everywhere. He searched his pen thoroughly. He examined the window ledge, stared up at the ceiling, but he saw nothing new. Finally, he decided he would have to speak up. He hated to break the stillness of dawn by using his voice, but he couldn't think of any other way to locate the mysterious new friend who was nowhere to be seen. So Wilbur cleared his throat. Attention, please, he said in a loud, firm voice. Will the party who addressed me at bedtime last night kindly make himself or herself known by giving an appropriate sign or signal? Wilbur paused and listened. All the other animals lifted their heads and stared at him. Wilbur blushed. but he was determined to get in touch with this unknown friend. "Attention, please," he said. "I will repeat the message. Will the party who addressed me at bedtime last night kindly speak up? Please tell me where you are, if you are my friend." The sheep looked at him in disgust. "Stop your nonsense, Wilbur," said the oldest sheep. "If you have a new friend here, you are probably disturbing his rest. And the quickest way to spoil a friendship is to make somebody in the morning before he is ready. How can you be sure your friend is an early riser?" An early riser is a term, right? It basically just means a person who wakes up early. Hence, an early riser. "I beg your pardon," whispered Wilbur. Oh, that wasn't my Wilbur voice. I'll try that again. "I beg your pardon. I beg everyone's pardon," whispered Wilbur. "I didn't mean to be objectable." He lay down meekly in the manure, facing the door. He did not know it, but his friend was very near, and the old sheep was right. His friend was still asleep. Soon Lurvy appeared with slops for breakfast. Wilbur rushed out, ate everything in a hurry, and licked the trove. The sheep moved off down the lane. The gander waddled along behind them, pulling grass. And then, just as Wilbur was settling down for his morning nap, he heard again the thin voice that had addressed him the night before. "Salutations," said the voice. Wilbur jumped to his feet. What?" he cried. "Salutations," repeated the voice. "What are they, and where are you?" screamed Wilbur. Please tell me, where are you? And what are salutations?" "Salutations are greetings," said the voice. "When I say salutations, it's just my fancy way of saying hello or good morning. Actually, it's a silly expression, and I am surprised that I used it at all. As for my whereabouts, that's easy. Look up in the corner of the doorway. Here I am. Look, I'm waving." And here's a picture of Wilbur. And I kind of told you the answer, and it was my fault. I thought we read this. This is the person who's been talking to him. It is a spider, and obviously, you could probably make the conclusion, since the title of the book is Charlotte's Web, that's Charlotte. Okay, so we'll stop there, and then we'll read the rest tomorrow. But also, it's just rained all day yesterday, so we're gonna take a look at our garden and see what things we can find. So come with us. All right, let's see. So I think the last time we looked at the garden, we talked about milkweed. And milkweeds were caterpillars, invasive. You probably think of the root word invade, which is basically it. All these plants, you wouldn't think about it, are like competing for space, right? And the reason why it's really important to compete for space is because they need the sunlight to live, to photosynthesis, so they can create their own food. And all these plants are basically kind of at war with each other. It was kind of my fault when I planted these. I planted them way too close. But if you notice, this plant just is going to expand a lot more, and it's kind of competing with this plant. And certain plants that I didn't make are these ones. And these ones they're just basically going to try to take it over. So one thing I just want to talk about is this kind of invasive plants. I'll kind of look at them for some videos on YouTube, and maybe we can kind of have a different discussion about that on Thursday. Or actually, I might not read with you until next week, guys. So I just wanted to point that out. And again, if you kind of look up, I bet you there's like tons of worms right now. Actually, let's go see if we can find any. So what we could do is, let's see. Come on. Let's see. I'll move this statue of St. Francis. And if we open up here, let's see what we could find. Oh, yeah, just as I predicted. You'll find a earthworm. And the reason why you'll most likely find a lot of earthworms when it rains is they kind of come up to the top. I honestly don't know exactly why. But earthworm, I know we talked about roly-polies. They are irrigators of the soil, which means that when they kind of make their little burrows, which means like little holes in the soil, they actually provide the soil with more oxygen. And when the soil has a lot of oxygen, it's healthier for the plants to grow. So I'll put that back. I always liked doing this when I was a kid. So I'll put this back in as well. All right. I'll probably have to redo that. All right, Bobcat Nation, we miss you. We'll see you soon. Keep the good work with your distant learning and going on your Google Classrooms. Also, don't forget next week is spring break. So enjoy this time, take a walk, write a journal, do some artwork, post it and give it to us, send a message on our Facebook, our Instagram page. Keep safe, we think about you, we love you, and we miss you. And we will see you soon. All right, bye Bobcat Nation, take care.